The year is 2029. The United States finds itself standing at the edge of a future that feels both inevitable and unpredictable. Every decision made over the past decade has carried consequences that now shape daily life in ways that few people could have imagined. The America of 2029 is not the land people once knew. It is faster, more efficient, more digital, but also more divided, more uncertain, and more fragile. This is a nation being rewritten year by year, and 2029 marks another turning point in its story. Walking through New York City in 2029, one no longer hears the same symphony of car horns and human chatter that defined its streets for generations. Autonomous vehicles glide silently across avenues, their movements orchestrated by an invisible digital network. Billboards no longer advertise with static images, but with interactive projections that change according to the viewer's face, mood, and biometric signals. Surveillance drones hover overhead, not just recording what people do, but predicting what they might do. The promise of safety has come at the cost of privacy, and the people of America know that every step they take, every glance, every breath, can be measured and stored in vast data centers. Artificial intelligence has become more than a tool. It is the nervous system of the United States in 2029. It decides how food is distributed, how traffic flows, how electricity is rationed, how diseases are managed, and how businesses are run. For many citizens, it feels invisible, always there, always guiding, but rarely questioned. For others, it feels oppressive, a constant reminder that human freedom is shrinking as algorithms tighten their grip. Entire industries have disappeared under the weight of automation. Truck drivers, warehouse workers, customer service representatives, accountants, and even creative professionals have been swept away by systems that never rest, never complain, and never demand wages. The government insists that retraining programs are the answer, but by 2029, people have seen through this illusion. Not everyone can become a robotics engineer. Not everyone can reinvent themselves at 50 or 60 years old. The labor market is polarized between a small elite of highly skilled workers who design and oversee the machines, and a vast underclass of people surviving on short-term contracts, gig work, and basic income subsidies. The American dream, the promise that hard work guarantees stability, has become fragile, slipping through the fingers of millions. On the streets, discontent grows. Protest movements rise, not only in traditional strongholds like Detroit or Chicago, but in places that once felt stable and safe. Farmers march against the dominance of genetically engineered crops controlled by a handful of corporations. Students rally against universities that have replaced professors with AI lecturers. Artists take to the streets, performing live to remind audiences what human creativity feels like in an era when most content is synthetic. Their banners say, "We are not data," a cry of rebellion in a world obsessed with numbers. Politics in 2029 is more polarized than ever. The ideological battle no longer fits neatly into left and right. Instead, the central conflict is between those who embrace technological domination and those who resist it. Techno-optimists argue that artificial intelligence will solve every crisis from climate change to poverty to healthcare. They believe resistance is fear, an inability to adapt. Human preservationists argue that no algorithm should decide the future of humanity. They fight for laws to limit surveillance, to protect jobs, to preserve human dignity in an age of automation. Elections are fought not only in rallies and debates, but in algorithmic battles, as AI-driven propaganda floods social networks, shaping opinions before citizens even realize they are being manipulated. By the time ballots are cast, many voters feel as though their choices were never truly their own. The economy of 2029 is both dazzling and destructive. At the top, the owners of algorithms and quantum computing infrastructure grow unimaginably rich. Their wealth dwarfs the fortunes of oil barons and industrial magnates of the past. Silicon Valley, now merged with Wall Street in influence, operates almost like a parallel government, setting policies that affect millions without democratic oversight. At the bottom, homelessness spreads, tent cities grow, and rural towns wither. The divide between those who thrive and those who suffer is visible in every corner of the country. In Los Angeles, neon-lit districts overflow with luxury, while just blocks away, families struggle to survive in makeshift shelters. Surveillance expands beyond cameras and drones. In 2029, technology reads emotions, predicts behaviors, and even influences decisions in real time. Citizens wear devices that track health data, often required for insurance or employment. These devices double as monitoring tools, alerting authorities when someone shows signs of risky behavior. Critics warn that this system criminalizes thoughts before they become actions. Supporters argue it prevents violence and protects communities. The line between safety and control blurs further each day, leaving ordinary people caught in the tension between fear and freedom. In homes, daily life feels both futuristic and hollow. Smart systems anticipate needs before they are spoken. Refrigerators order food automatically. Virtual assistants read bedtime stories to children. Elderly parents are cared for by humanoid robots with soft voices and artificial empathy. For some families, this technology is a blessing, providing care that humans cannot. For others, it is a nightmare, a symbol of a world where connection is outsourced to machines. Loneliness remains, but it is hidden behind synthetic smiles and automated voices. Culture shifts dramatically. Music charts are dominated by AI-generated artists whose songs are perfectly engineered for dopamine release. Films and series adapt themselves to individual viewers, changing endings and characters depending on personal preferences. Human creativity, once celebrated as the heartbeat of American culture, struggles to compete. In underground clubs, artists resist by embracing imperfection, producing raw, flawed performances that remind audiences of what it means to feel something real. These spaces become sanctuaries of humanity in an increasingly synthetic world. Internationally, the United States in 2029 faces new challenges. China has advanced rapidly in artificial intelligence and space exploration, rivaling American supremacy. Europe builds alliances around sustainability and digital rights, challenging Silicon Valley's dominance. Cyber conflicts are constant, invisible battles waged across servers, satellites, and power grids. Wars are fought not with tanks and missiles, but with code, capable of disabling entire cities in seconds. The American military invests heavily in autonomous weapons, raising ethical questions about machines, deciding who lives and who dies. The fear of losing control over these systems grows as hackers and rival nations test the limits of digital warfare. Climate change adds another layer of urgency. By 2029, rising seas threaten coastal cities like Miami and New Orleans. Wildfires devastate the West Coast with unprecedented intensity. Heat waves strain power grids, forcing rolling blackouts. The government invests in resilient infrastructure, but the scale of change is overwhelming. Communities adapt by building vertical farms, desalination plants, and local energy grids, but millions are displaced. Climate refugees within the United States become a political flashpoint as states argue over resources and responsibilities. Religion and spirituality transform as people search for meaning in an age of uncertainty. Traditional congregations move online. With millions attending virtual services, new faiths emerge, some worshiping technology itself as the ultimate source of wisdom. Others frame artificial intelligence as a false prophet, warning that dependence on machines will strip away humanity's soul. In small towns and big cities alike, people seek answers, whether in scripture, in code, or in rebellion. By the end of 2029, the United States feels like two nations occupying the same territory. One is sleek, digital, efficient, run by algorithms, and ruled by elites who thrive in the age of machines. The other is restless, angry, and human, demanding recognition, dignity, and freedom. Protests grow louder, hacktivists bolder, and divisions deeper. Families gather around dinner tables, not to discuss sports or daily life, but to argue about whether artificial intelligence is salvation or destruction. The American identity itself is at stake, caught between past traditions and future promises. The story of the United States in 2029 is not one of certainty, but of conflict. It is a nation both ahead of its time and haunted by its choices. The promise of progress is matched by the threat of collapse, yet within the chaos, hope remains. Communities adapt, people resist, and sparks of resilience shine in unexpected places. America has always been forged in struggle, and 2029 is no different. The question is not whether the United States will survive, but what kind of nation it will become. And now I want to hear from you. Do you believe the USA in 2029 will rise stronger, or do you see only collapse ahead? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters in this conversation about the future. If this video opened your eyes, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next chapter, where we explore what could happen in the years to come. The story of tomorrow has only just begun, and together we will uncover it, year by year.